Senate, your point of order is sustained.
Order, please.
Dismiss Senator Natasha, please. You are not recognized to speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, order 10 on privileges. Order 10 on privileges.
Distinguished Senator Natasha.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. A motion declaring that the content of breach of privilege has been
allowed suspension immediately.
Or refer.
Good morning, my people. Welcome to Local Matter. Another update on day like this. And I know say Senator Godwill Akpabio is the worst Senate president where Nigeria don't ever produce. So ever since the man entered into power, the man never talk any better thing. Even the situation that Nigeria is passing through today, this man never one day come out to address the situation when Nigeria they pass through today. This woman where they always talk better thing, where they always speak about the interests of this country. Now the woman now they always fight every time. Mona watch this video. Mona hear wetin Rufai Oseni the talk for inside this video. Now the same thing where in do to Saraki when Saraki was the Senate president. Now the same thing Senator Natasha do to Ramon. Now the thing they pain me, they pepper am for body. Mona watch this video now. Mona hear wetin they talk for inside this video. If today be the first time where they come across this channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that whenever we drop another video, now you go be the first person where go see am.
Joining us now to discuss the Senate plenary, which was marred by the rowdy session when Senate President Godwill Akpabio ordered that Senator Natasha be thrown out of the chamber, is Senator Peter Nweboyi, Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate. Good morning, Senator Nweboyi. Great to have you on the morning show today.
Thank you,
I'm sure you were on the floor. I don't know if you were on the floor yesterday because you were in Lagos this morning. Okay, so great. Thank you for coming here today physically.
Thank you.
Can you share with us what truly transpired? We saw what happened. The video footage has shown us. But from your perspective, what happened yesterday?
Well, thank you so very much, Arise family, for this opportunity to clear the coast on some of this unfortunate incident. It didn't matter a sitting yesterday. It merely distracted us for 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
Before I go into details, I will tell you the sitting arrangement in the Senate. We have 2 sides of the Senate. The majority party sits at the right-hand side of the presiding officer, while the opposition party sits at the left-hand side of the presiding officer, in this case, the Senate president. And you will agree with me that a few weeks back, some senators from the opposition defected to the ruling party, the APC, thereby creating vacuum within the sitting arrangement in the opposition sitting cycle. And by our rules, particularly Order 6, Rule 1, empowers the presiding officer, which is the Senate president, to reallocate seats to senators where there is defection. And this allocation of seats did not only affect Natasha, it affected other senators within the sitting role of the opposition. And Natasha, instead of moving to the new seat allocated to her, refused to do that. And by doing so, she breached the rule of the Senate. So it's a very unfortunate incident, because to me, it is unwarranted. It shouldn't be. The seats are all the same. It's just for us to have normalcy and without creating vacuum under the sitting arrangement. That is why the Senate President exercises powers as enshrined in our rules and regulations as a parliament. And that is the parliamentary practice all over the world. So I want to join my colleagues to condemn this unwarranted act.
Senator, real quickly. There's a video making a round of how the same Akpabio protested in 2018. In fact, Akpabio was speaking while he was not being permitted to speak by the then Senate President Bukola Saraki. He was obviously relying on the point of order, the same point of order he ignored in the chamber yesterday to advance his own mission to silence the voice of the perceived disloyal colleague. You know, so for avoidance of that, Senator Akpoti had all her privilege and right to speak at that point, enshrined in the Senate standing room, but he shut her down. Wait a minute. Yeah. This is the same. Akpabio too did the same thing to Saraki. There's video evidence there. I can send it to my producer now to put it on air so that you be facts. You don't lie. Secondly, she complained about persistently suppressing her voice. We all saw when he used words like, this is not a club for his own fellow Senate member. He's not higher than her. He's just first among equals. So he has used words like this, denigrated her. Not only him, all female voices have been stifled in the Senate. Even King Gibe's voice, King Gibe, all of them are complaining. So what they are saying is that there's so much testosterone in the Senate, you suppress female voices. That's what you people are doing.
Well, I will speak of what happened during Saraki's time. That is the 8th Senate I was a state party chairman then, so I wasn't in the Senate, so I can't speak for what I don't know.
But we can show you the video. We have empirical facts.
Even if
he did
supposing
he did the same. Akpabio did the same then.
Supposing, but without considering that the now Senate president did so, 2 wrongs cannot make a right.
Oh, but it was
we must. Senate is the highest law-making body in Nigeria. As far as I'm concerned, the greatest and the most powerful institution under democracy. And as such, we must conduct ourselves in line with our rules. And the rule says you cannot speak except the presiding officer permits you to speak. Go to Order 6, Rule 5. It's there. So what Natasha did is outrightly outside the provision of our rules. And nothing can remedy it. Nothing can remedy it. And the allegation that he used to suppress the voice of the female senators, I disagree with you.
No, but
the same yesterday.
He said this is not a club now.
The same yesterday.
Was that right for him to have said?
I'm coming. The same
answer. Was that right for him to have said?
He was not addressing her.
No, that the Senate is not a club.
He was talking in passing. Yes.
But he apologized
afterwards. He was advising the entire senator.
No, don't raise your voice, Senator. Keep your voice down.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please don't raise your voice at me.
Thank you.
With due respect.
Thank you, sir.
Keep your voice down.
Thank you.
I'm the moderator here.
Thank you.
Please. He actually apologized after that statement. So that means he showed contrition. That's a fact.
Okay. First and foremost, the statement made by the Senate President on that said day, because I was also in chambers, he was not addressing Senator Natasha. He was addressing the General Senate. The Senate is not a marketplace, a clubhouse, where you can shout on top of your voice the way you want. He's trying to advise us as a father. Yep. That we should act within the rules of the Senate. He was not addressing Senator Natasha. He was talking to everybody as a presiding officer.
All right, Professor Kila.
Senator Nwaboim, I do agree with you that the Senate should not be a place of drama.
Good.
You said the chairs are the same. Was there any particular reason why it mattered so much that she changed her chair? Yes. That she didn't want to say that? Is there a particular reason?
Let me tell you.
Yes.
She is not the only senator that was affected by that seat reallocation. Before now, Senator Yayi, that represented Lagos West, now representing Ogun West, was reallocated from his former seat to another seat. Senator Joseph Okalo was reallocated from his former seat to another seat. Senator Ifeanyi Oba was also reallocated. This is a minor thing, normal procedure.
I think she overreacted, but
she overreacted. That is the point.
Okay.
Thank
so
you
let's
for
go.
Admitting that.
I do, but let's now go to another person that overreacted and wonder: do you think the Senate President overreacted in immediately not allowing her to talk, escorting her out, suspending her? I mean, that's the nuclear button.
She was not suspended. She was not escorted out.
She was not.
She was asked to go. She refused.
She refused to go.
Senate President being a father ignored her, and we condemn the business of the day.
All right. Okay. Let me ask a question on.
By the way, the Senate President is not the father. Stop saying that. The Senate President is the first among equal.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Okay, let me take that.
Right.
Let me take that.
He did birth you. Is he your father?
All right. Okay.
But let's go ahead.
Let me just ask a question around House rules, points of order, because that's also quite contentious. And I really want our viewers to understand, and this is an opportunity to learn about the procedure in the House, in the Senate.
Thank you.
The first thing was that the Chief Whip raised the point of order that she wasn't sitting where she was supposed to be sitting.
Yes.
What should have naturally followed is that the Senate President ought to have given Senator Natasha an opportunity to defend herself, true or false. Usually when a point of order is raised, before a decision is made by the Senate President, but he didn't give her that opportunity. So and he didn't. So that was one. The second part of it was that she made a claim that usually when you want to raise a point in the Senate, your hand is raised and the Senate President has to recognize you before you're allowed to speak. She said she'd been marginalized consistently.
That is the order
so that, yes,
the Senate rule.
Consistently. And so she had to stand up. And if you recall, this has happened in the past between Dino Melaye, Dimeji Bankole, that sometimes, and that's what Rufai was talking about, their voices being silenced. Is there merit to this? Because I want you to explain to us, because that was evidence of bias from the Senate President, that he didn't, when the point of order was raised by the Chief Whip, didn't give her an opportunity to either defend herself or not, and then, make a decision following that. What do you say about that? Because that's the contention, that there's a lot of marginalization, so share with us an opportunity to educate.
He who goes for equity must come with clean hands. Senator Natasha, before yesterday's plenary, has been assigned to a new seat, and she refused to sit on her seat. And our rule is that you can't speak except you are sitting on the seat assigned to you. So for the Senate President not giving her a chance to speak is in line with the rules. If she has moved to her seat and raised that point of order, I tell you, the Senate President would have given her the opportunity to speak. Our rules are strict. It's not made by Akpabio.
No, you didn't answer.
It has been there. No, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Okay.
You're talking of suppressing her voice.
Yes.
This is the same person that came up with a bill yesterday. The bill was taken. If you were suppressing her voice, we could have taken that bill on the Diaspora Bank. But the bill scared first reading. This is a senator. The first day she was sworn in, she was made a committee chairman.
But she's removed from that particular committee.
To another committee.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah. I was chairman of the Senate Committee on Works. But I have to resign because I'm not a principal officer. I'm not chairing any committee. Yeah. These are rules and practices obtainable in every parliament all over the world.
You can't speak. Question. Just as we go, you didn't answer my question around the point of order. Senate President giving her an opportunity.
That's what I said. You can't speak until you're on your seat. That answers your question.
But she could have defended herself based on
your seat. Go to your seat.
The Senate President made a decision without allowing her to respond to that point.
Go to your seat and respond. That is the issue. Get me right. You cannot speak outside your seat. You can't speak outside your seat.
Thank you so much.
Order 6, Rule 2 to 5. You read it. I can show it. Let me read it with you.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so no, the whip ready.
It's simple.
The whip ready.
Okay. Senate is a serious institution. Okay. It's not a place you can come with whatever you take everybody with. No, we have rules.
Classroom senators, not even classroom.
Not even a classroom.
I want the senators to come in and learn from our classrooms how to behave, because
we must
learn. And from classroom, because in reality, starting from the Senate President to a lot of senators, there's so much drama and little law. We beg you to go back there, reduce the drama, and give us more legislation. And other senators, if they tell you to change your seat, you too change your seat.
Simple.
Let's leave it at that.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Senator.
Turn to the Senate, where tempers fled today when the lawmaker representing Kogi Central, Senator Natasha was reassigned another seat in the red chambers of the National Assembly. The adjustment of her seating is due to the vacuum created by the movement of Senator Ned Nwoko and Senator Francis Ezenwa, who decamped from the PDP to the APC, enabling them to move seats to the ruling aisle of the divide in the chamber.
It all started before the plenary when the Kogi Central lawmaker Natasha was notified of a new seating arrangement. The lawmaker was not impressed with this new development, and she voiced out her dissatisfaction, verbally attacking the chairman of Senate Services, Karimi Sunday, for changing her seat. When plenary began, the chief whip of the Senate, Tahir Monguno, while citing Order 6, Rule 2 of the Senate Standing Rules, pointed out the powers of the Senate President to reallocate seats to any lawmaker at his discretion. He further explained that Senator Natasha's refusal to relocate to a new seat assigned to her would leave the President of the Senate no other option than to exercise powers not to allow her contribute on any matter on the floor if she refuses to comply with a new seat redesignation.
Now that Senator Natasha insisted on staying on her former seat in spite of the rearrangement of the seat, I am craving for her indulgence to resume the seat that has been lawfully allocated to her.
Her attempt to move a motion citing a breach of her privileges was turned down by the President of the Senate, instructing her to relocate to her new seat in order to be recognized. But Senator Natasha, still speaking, challenged the authority of the President of the Senate, insisting that her voice will not be silenced even if not recognized. The chamber soon turned rowdy, forcing the President of the Senate to order the Sergeant at Arms to take her out of the chamber, but other lawmakers pleaded to the President of the Senate on her behalf.
Sir, Order 10 on privileges. Any senator may rise at any time
can the
to
Sergeant
speak
at Arms
upon
please,
a matter of privilege suddenly
take her out of the
arising.
Senate?
Despite much persuasion from other lawmakers in the chamber, Senator Natasha still remained on her seat, refusing to move to her newly allocated seat. In a later development, the Kogi caucus in the Senate appealed to the President of the Senate to pardon the lawmaker for acting out of order.
I want to sincerely apologize on behalf of the Kogi caucus to the Senate President and the entire Senate that this will not repeat itself again.
What you have done, you have the power to do it. You did it at the best interest of the Senate. So I will want her to at least come out and apologize to us.
I just want to appeal to you. The matter will be dealt with at the appropriate time.
The President of the Senate appealed to his colleagues to not feel offended by the actions of the Kogi Central lawmaker, although unwarranted, but to continue with the business for which they were elected.